56 individuals have died due to rat fever so far this year, according to the Ministry of Health.
The epidemiology unit of the Ministry of Health states that the most number of rat fever-related deaths had taken place in the Gamba district, with the number standing at 11. A number of deaths have also been reported from the Kurunegala, Kalutara and Hambantara districts as well. Meanwhile, Health Ministry officials noted that 4,374 cases of rat fever have been reported so far this year, with a majority of the reports emerging from the Kurunegala district.
In more local news, a resident of the Kumara Elia area in Talava, Anuradhapura has committed suicide by setting herself on fire. The police said that the woman's 1.5-year-old infant, who had also sustained severe burn injuries, has been admitted to the Anuradhapura Teaching Hospital. The police suspect that she had set herself on fire at around 7:30 last evening after locking herself inside her house. The deceased has been identified as a 22-year-old. The woman's brother, who had subsequently arrived at the location and broken down the door, had rushed the child to hospital.
Making headlines in the global arena, the chief prosecutor in the attempted rape trial of former IMF chief Dominic Strauss-Kahn rejects calls to stand down. And protests continue in the Yemeni capital Sana'a against President Ali Abdul Saleh's rule. The chief prosecutor in the attempted rape trial of former IMF chief Dominic Strauss-Kahn has rejected calls to stand down. Lawyers representing the alleged victim in the sexual assault case accused Manhattan District Attorney Cyrus Vance of undermining their case by leaking damaging information about her. They say Cyrus should be replaced by a special prosecutor. Earlier, Strauss-Kahn's lawyers and prosecutors held a private meeting lasting some 90 minutes in an apparent attempt to explore the possibility of a plea bargain. The former IMF chief denies sexually assaulting a hotel maid in New York on the 14th of May and was recently freed from house arrest in the city. Strauss-Kahn had been a leading contender to be the French Socialist Party's presidential candidate before his arrest in May. Hundreds of Yemeni men and women rallied in the capital Sana'a yesterday against President Ali Abdul Saleh, who is recovering from injuries sustained in an assassination attempt last month. Yemen, a southern neighbor of Saudi Arabia, the world's largest oil exporter, has been rocked by months of protests by tens of thousands demanding Saleh end his 33 years in power. The United States and Saudi Arabia fear that Islamist militants linked to Al-Qaeda, which was established a foothold in southern Yemen, might exploit the unrest to carry out attacks in the region and beyond. Both have urged Saleh to step down under a plan proposed by Gulf Arab states in a bid an immediate transfer. But 69-year-old Saleh has resisted the pressure, hoping protesters will grow tired and drop their demands.
On to some sports news now. Sri Lanka cricket captain Tilakratne Dilshan says they were pushed back in the game after their top order collapsed. He stated this at a post-match media briefing yesterday. Incidentally, England beat Sri Lanka by 10 wickets in the fourth one-day international. Meanwhile, England skipper Alistair Cook also expressed his views on the match.
It's still a good wicket. We see they batted real well. Thing is, we lose early wickets. That's I think is we push back the game. If you batted without 1 or 2 wickets first 10 overs, might be end up by 240, 250. Then might be different stories. Chasing is 240 is always pressure. The thing is, they are used to this kind of condition. They really adjust to the condition. These 2 matches they won. Whether a little bit help for them, but I can't say these excuses for losing matches. But we are looking forward to play last match like a final. Both teams now 2 each. We have to deliver whatever we got last match and win the series.
Yeah, pretty much. We went in about 10 wickets and play as well as that. It doesn't get much better. It was a good game, and the way we bowled up front, 20 for 4, certainly put us on the front foot. And I was also pleased the way that catch Brezzy took, changed that game against Matthew. When they're getting a partnership going, and then the way Jade bowled in the power play, certainly an area which we haven't done well, and a massive area which we can improve our skills at. And I thought he started off very well there. Well, actually, I thought that pitch was as flat as I've played on. It came onto the bat very nicely. It just obviously those first few overs with the white ball, it did a little bit, and I think it was just a carry. We want pitches which carry, and we're very good in those conditions.
Briton Mark Cavendish became one of the top 10 stage winners in the Tour de France when he raced to victory in an incident-packed fifth stage in Cap Ferrol yesterday.
Before Cavendish dashed to his first stage win in this edition, almost all the big names in the peloton hit the tarmac in a windswept ride along the Breton seaside. The unluckiest team was Radio Shack, who lost their leader Hannes Brajkovic 90 kilometers from the finish. The Slovenian was forced out of the race after being diagnosed with concussion, but a brain scan at the hospital revealed nothing serious. He also suffered a shoulder injury. Three-time champion Alberto Contador of Spain, who had also thought he had won the fourth stage before realizing he had been pipped by Australia's Cadel Evans, fell with 88 kilometers to go and threw his bike in anger before making it back inside the peloton. Saxo Bank rider Nicky Sorensen was dragged off his bike after it was hit by one of the motorbikes escorting the peloton, but the Dane was able to continue. Quick Step were almost as hard hit as Radio Shack, with 3 riders down, especially former world champion Tom Boonen of Belgium, who crossed the line long after the main pack with an injured shoulder. At the finish, Cavendish surged in the last stretch of the 164.5-kilometer ride to upstage Belgian champion Philippe Gilbert and Spain's Jose Joaquin Rojas on the line. Cavendish's 16th stage success in the Tour